Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. Mauricio Umansky is giving us an update on where things stand with his marriage to Kyle Richards. Tom Sandoval now has a podcast and seems to think that everybody loves him, and we're going to dive into all the tea. Oh, hi, it's me, Zack Peter, pop culture junkie, reality TV insider, published author, and host of the No Filter with Zack Peter podcast. Here I'll bring you all the latest news on the Real Housewives, deep dives into celebrity legal scandals, and unfiltered convos with your favorite stars. I've got you covered. And yes, I always keep receipts. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for all the latest tea. Now, let's dive in. Welcome on in, 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 everybody. I had quite the eventful Thursday, so happy Friday. I'm sorry that today's episode is a little later than usual. If Scott's listening, you know Scott's gonna get mad at me for that. But sorry that it's a little late. I had an event to go to yesterday. I actually went with Josh, and it went a lot later than it was supposed to, but I don't, maybe we'll talk about it. We're going to do a live stream on Saturday. We're going to do the Hot Ones, Hot Wings live stream where we're going to do some housewives hot takes and answer some of your burning questions while our mouths are on fire doing the Hot Ones challenge. So the kid's supposed to arrive today. He's coming over tomorrow. So stay tuned on the YouTube. We'll have that happen on YouTube. So if you're listening to some podcast, you're going to want to go to youtube.com/justplainzack. Okay, we have a lot of tea that we're going to break down. We got lots of trailers and reunion looks, a lot of Bravo like announcements this week. So we had the Real Housewives of Potomac trailer that dropped, looked very lackluster. I feel like the editing of it, and I talked about this with Rachel Lindsay on the Morally Corrupt podcast. When you have to edit a trailer and you have to like make it look all like you have to make the editing look fancy or funny or whatever. Like you have to do a gimmick because that's kind of what it was. It was what Potomac's finest, or it was something. They like try to make the trailer look like a sitcom, and it was a sitcom surrounding Potomac. And so to me, when you have to do all of that and you need all the little bells and whistles, that means the reunion and the content doesn't really speak enough for itself. It doesn't hype me up to make me think that this is going to be a good season. We got the Orange County reunion trailer, and that looks good. I'm looking forward to that one. It seems like everybody's kind of just at odds, so I'm curious to see how it all shakes out in the end. We know that Tamara and Heather seem to make up at the end of it because Tamara posted a photo of her with Heather and Taylor after the reunion. Interesting that she didn't post a photo with Shannon. I mean, obviously she's good with Shannon, but it was just a random thing that they decided to post that photo with the three of them. Curious what that means for their friendship. But the reunion trailer looks good. I thought the finale was good. I thought that, the finale was fine. I'm glad that Heather was vindicated in the end. That's what I was happy about. I was like, yes, don't come for Heather Dubrow. Okay, bro? Heather Dubrow is where it's at. She got money, honey. We also got the Real Housewives of New York reunion looks, and they look just as boring as I anticipate this reunion will look. Because it really is just, oh my God, this is so funny. Sorry. I opened up my phone to pull up the looks, and the funny thing is, I pulled up, this is so funny. So sorry, I'm going to go on a little tangent and story time, only because this now came up. But at this event that Josh and I went to last night, there was this guy that we invited to come over and sit with us because he was hot and Josh's friend was also there. And I don't know, we were going to play matchmaker. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not trying to say too much because I don't want Joshua to get upset with me. But listen, that's what I do. I have a show called No Filter, and I mention it all. But so anyway, long story short, this guy that we invite over ends up being an underwear model, right? And so it's funny because we invite him over to like sit at our table, and then he ends up like talking to me the entire time, and then he ends up telling me that he's an underwear model and he lives here in downtown. And then he went on my phone. I forgot this until now. He went on my phone and was showing me his underwear model pictures and then zooming in to show me that he was, hung like a horse. I don't know, but like literally. So when I opened I was like, that's right. I forgot about that. I mean, Interesting. I'm still very perplexed about that entire conversation. Anyway, sorry, went on a tangent, which is more interesting than Jenna Lyons' outfit because she was wearing jeans to the fucking reunion, which I get it is very on brand for her and is very J. Crew, whatever. But at the same time, it's like all of their reunion looks. Oop, there's the dick again. All of the reunion looks were just they were underwhelming to me. They weren't interesting. They weren't exciting. They were really basic. I mean, Uba had like a bright floral patterned white dress that I thought was interesting. Bryn had an interesting dress. It was like a black velvet dress, but to me, Bryn's dress just didn't it was a little too over the top and it didn't really fit her very well. I mean, I guess it fit fine, but it was just too flowy that, like, I don't know. It just didn't do. The only reunion look I did like was Sai, and she had on this like long sleeve, like long tan dress. It was, I think Sai's look was the only one I enjoyed. Aaron's was like cute, but it was like going to, that's what I felt like. A lot of them were just going to dinner. Jessel tried, but yeah, I wasn't impressed with the reunion looks. I think the OC reunion looks were way better than the New York ones, but I don't know what New York is even really going to talk about. What are they going to give us? They're going to talk about cheese and charcuterie and Jenna Lyons not wanting to get on a flight. And I mean, I guess they're going to talk about Erin being a bitch because they all called her a bitch on their trip. But like, I don't know. To me, it just wasn't that interesting. So I would swipe left on all of those looks, minus Sai. Sai actually looked great. Keeping Up with the Kardashians, or sorry, not Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The Kardashians on Hulu came back. I thought it was a great first premiere. We have more of the Kim and Kourtney drama, which I'm actually enjoying. I think it's, we're living life, right? Kourtney calling Kim a witch and saying that she hates her because she thinks I actually get Kourtney's side of the fight now in watching. I don't know if anybody caught the premiere, but so basically Kim and Kourtney are still fighting about the fight that they had last season where Kourtney felt like Kim hijacked her wedding because her wedding it looked like it was sponsored by Dolce & Gabbana because Dolce & Gabbana did everything for Kourtney's wedding, which is great promotion for Dolce & Gabbana. But then Kim did a deal and did a show with Dolce & Gabbana a few months after in the same year. And so Kourtney was like, you hijacked my wedding and you stole my goddamn Dolce & Gabbana. And Kim was like, you stole my goddamn wedding. And so they fought about that because Kim was like, I got married in Italy and I had Andrea Bocelli at my wedding. And I'm sure you've seen the TikTok. But so we're picking up on that. And Kourtney finally explains that her issue with Kim is that she feels like Kim can't let anybody have anything good for them because she has to be the center of attention. So then she has to try and take whatever they have because she needs it for herself, which I get. And in that context, makes sense. It didn't make sense what Kourtney was saying last season, but now it makes a lot more sense where Kourtney thinks because she calls Kim a narcissist, and that's a popular thing to do. Everybody's a fucking narcissist. Everybody's toxic. Everybody's a narcissist. I get it, okay? And everyone gets loved bombed by a narcissist. Who knew there were so many fucking narcissists walking around? Everybody, like an asshole, everybody has a narcissist in their life. Anyway, she calls Kim a narcissist for saying, like, you can't just be happy that I had this Dolce & Gabbana sponsored wedding. You had to go and steal Dolce & Gabbana and do something with them and make it bigger. And so I get it. I don't think that that's what Kim was doing. I believe Kim's side of the story where she was like, listen, Dolce & Gabbana came to me after the wedding and they wanted to do this and they had a really tight timeline, but it was a really big opportunity that I couldn't pass up. So I didn't pass up. I jumped at the opportunity. I tried to make sure the looks and the vibes didn't clash too much with Kourtney's. She wanted to make sure that the fashion and the items that they were showcasing weren't the same ones that were used in Italy when Kourtney was getting married. Fine, I get it. The episode was good. We got a lot more Kendall and Kylie. They went on a family vacation. Cute. They got drunk. It kind of felt like old Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but like, obviously with the bigger budget. So I wasn't mad at it. I thought it was a fine first premiere. I'm gonna watch episode 2 this weekend because I get screeners because I'm important. Hi, it's me, Zach Peter. I'm the problem. It's me. What else happened this week? Ariana wore her revenge reunion dress on Dancing with the Stars as she went and did her little shimmy, 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 shake, shake, hey. She looked hot. She was a way better dancer than I was expecting. I was like, wow, we got moves. We got swag. We got the moves like Jagger. Okay, I thought she killed it. The reunion dress in the costumey way was ugly. I know that's not a popular thing to say, but that's what it is. Her actual reunion dress at the reunion, incredible, hot, fire, fire, fire. The costume reenactment for Dancing with the Stars, I thought it looked cheap, and it didn't look as great as the reunion dress that I would have been fine if she would have decided to wear something entirely different. But I get it. That's what she was going for. And then she did the "I'm gonna love myself" and not love the Haley Steinfeld. Is that her name? I love me, gonna love myself and don't need anybody else. I love me. So she danced to that because she loves herself because she doesn't love Tom Sandoval anymore because he didn't love her back. He loved Rachel. And then Rachel went on Bethany's #1 podcast in the entire galaxy and said that she didn't love him. So that's where we're at. Speaking of love, Mauricio Umansky is speaking out about his marriage relationship. I don't know, to Kyle Richards. He has a podcast called Red Mike, which is on the agency. It's the agency's podcast, sorry, which is the company he owns. And so he went on there to talk about the women's, about the husband. So he addresses their marital issues, saying, "We were dealing with our own things, kind of super quietly and internally, just our own issues. I mean, certainly we're not separated. We're not divorced at this point. We're not any of that stuff." So he goes on to say that they've had a tough year and they've been good for 26 years and now they've had one really rough year. My thing is, it's like, well, what is it rough about? Like, are we going to get into that? Are we going to talk about why your relationship has been going through it? Is it because of Morgan Wade? Are they scissor sisters? Why is she doing, I think you're going to love me? Like, why are we doing that music video? Why are we doing a documentary that looks like a love story? Make it make sense. Like, tell me why you're having a rough year and why this year was any different from the last 26 years. Did Kyle not want to be a lesbian the last 26 years and now she wants to be a lesbian? Is that what we're going with? Throw a dog a bone here, Mauricio. I love you, but like, come on. Give us something. Give me some substance. Give me some meat. I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, everyone loves when I talk about the women's, talk about the husband. Fuck off. You know, we love a slurry Meredith. It's my favorite Meredith is when she's slurry and her eyes are bulging out of her. You can leave. It's great. But yeah, we still don't know what has made their marriage so challenging in this past year and why it's been going on for an entire year. Like, what about your relationship has changed and how has it consistently changed even though you've consistently tried to work on it? Did one of you fall out of love? Did one of you cheat? Like, I feel like that would be a thing, right? Maybe the love was never really there. Maybe you are maybe they've decided to open their marriage and that's why it's difficult because that's an ongoing conflict that they're working through because one of them needs to be open and out and the other one wants to stay monogamous. Like, that would make sense. That's total speculation and conjecture, but like, that would make sense, you know? I need something to make sense, right? Because right now what we have is not making any sense. And I like sense. I like when things add up. I like when things make my life easier. You know what makes my life easier? HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. So, as you guys know, fall is here, and HelloFresh can help you plan the busy season ahead with tasty dishes delivered to your door. Simply choose your recipes and pick your delivery date, then lay back and enjoy your day knowing that dinner is covered. When life gets busy, don't call for delivery. Get HelloFresh. It's 25% cheaper than takeout and less expensive than the grocery shopping. Just choose your recipes and receive fresh, pre-portioned ingredients so you can get cooking quick. Listen, I'm busy. I got the content. I'm traveling. I got the puppies. I'm setting up the new apartment. I'm setting up the new studio. And the last thing I want to worry about is running to the grocery store. Okay. So HelloFresh delivered to my door is super convenient. If you want to give them a try, go to HelloFresh.com/50nofilter and use code 50nofilter for 50% off plus 15 for 50% off plus 15 off the next 2 months. So you get the initial 50 and then you get the next 2 months off. Go to HelloFresh.com/50nofilter and use code 50nofilter for 50% off plus 15 off the next 2 months. Go right now. Try America's #1 delivery, #1 meal kit available right now. Link is in the description below. This episode is also brought to you by BetterHelp. Do you ever find that you're just trying to fall asleep and your brain suddenly won't stop talking? Me every night. Do your thoughts start racing before bed or at other inopportune moments? I remember how stressed I was this year going on tour, getting 2 puppies, moving into the new apartment. Like, I was overwhelmed. Tom's house was broken into, and he confronted the burglar and then had to go have eye surgery. So I sent my son over, and he flipped his car 5 times in the snow on the way home. So yeah, I'm under a lot of stress. Maybe I'll send Erica the app. Well, it turns out one great way to make those racing thoughts go away is to talk through them. Therapy gives you a place to do just that, so you can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Get a break from your thoughts with BetterHelp. Go to betterhelp.com/nofilter today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/nofilter. Okay, should we talk about Tom Sandoval's? Okay, Tom Sandoval has launched his new podcast where he drags Bravo and he drags Raquel, and he says that things are looking up with Ariana. Sort of. Maybe he saw the revenge dress and he was like, wow, she looks hot. Let me get at that thing. Now that, Rachel Rocky Bang Bang is out of the picture. So his new podcast is called Everybody Loves Tom. I assume a play off of like Everybody Loves Raymond. Make it sitcom-y. I did love the promos though. So he did some promos on Instagram where he's basically leaning into the villain era. And he's like, okay, they're like, oh, we did some research and we wanted to see what buzzwords, would be good to include in your podcast title. And they're reading all the nasty, mean things that people have called him over the past, what's been 7 months at this point. Wow, that's how long his relationship with Rachel lasted? Was this long? Anyway, they are totally leaning into the villain era, which I low-key love because I feel like, why not? I've always said they should go full Spencer and Heidi, full Spidey, lean into it, play it up, make it cheeky, because then you kind of take the power back, right? When people try to vilify you, you can control the narrative by just saying, you know what, I'm going to be the villain. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. So he's leaning into that. He then, they're reading him all these nasty things that people have called him online. And it was better than, maybe it was also a play off of like when Bethany was reading Raquel all the mean, nasty things people said to her at the reunion. And then Bethany was like crying, which we know isn't hard for her to do because she cries all the time. But he then decides, I know what I'm going to call it. Everybody Loves Tom. And then he comes out and is doing a fake recording of the first episode. And he takes his shirt off and he's sitting there without a shirt because like he thinks he's hot and buff. And like he's leaning into the fact that we know that, he's a little narcissist or very narcissistic. He's very self-absorbed, right? He's very much into himself. He's into his aesthetic. He's into his voice. He's into everything. Nobody loves Tom Sandoval the way Tom Sandoval loves Tom Sandoval. And nobody loves hearing Tom Sandoval than Tom Sandoval. So nobody loves hearing himself talk more than Tom. So here we are with the podcast where he gets to listen to himself talk all the time. And my thing is this. Ariana's on Dancing with the Stars. She's killing it. Rachel's frolicking like Bambi up in the meadows. She's fine. I think it's time that we all just move on. I think it's, if you want to listen to his podcast, cool. If you don't want to listen to his podcast, cool. But like, let's just keep it moving at this point because I'm tired of Scandival. I'm tired of like, oh my God. Like, I'm going to continue to comment on these things as they come up. And when Rachel does a stupid interview like she did with Bethany Frankel, then yeah, I'm going to say it's a stupid interview. And when Tom Sandoval actually makes a joke of himself, like Rachel tried to make herself the victim by going on Bethany's podcast and she tried to do reality reckoning. And what the fuck happened to reality reckoning? Is that still happening? Is that still a thing? Oh, she just had Nene Leakes. Bethany had Nene Leakes on her podcast. I guess it was yesterday and today, part 1 and 2. I don't know. I don't care. I didn't listen. I have no interest in listening to anything Bethany does anymore. I unfollowed her on the Tickety Talk. I think she's just a clown at this point, and they both look like bitter, like disgruntled old employees that are mad that they're not on TV anymore, is what it comes across as to me. So I don't have any interest in listening to anything that they have to say. I don't care about their history with the network. I don't care about the concerns that they have with the network. Had she done this interview before, like I think it maybe would have been like had Nene not already done Carlos King and had Bethany not already done the Rachel interview, I think this would have been more impactful. But I feel like at this point, like nobody really cares. I didn't listen to it. I had no interest in listening to it. But maybe I'll do a recap of it though for, for all the people in the world. But I do have a recap of Tom Sandoval's podcast. So let's dive into that. Here are the highlights from his first episode of Everybody Loves Tom. So he had on his drummer Jason, and he also had on his friend Kyle Chan, which funny. Did I say this? No, I didn't say this. Tom Sandoval and Kyle Chan were at the party I was at last night, or at the event, and then there was an after party. And so Kyle and Tom ended up coming. Josh and I had just left, and then Josh sent me the Instagram where it showed that they were there with underwear model guy. I hilarious. I was like, oh my God, like truly, truly hysterical. They told me that Kyle was coming, and I meant to text him and be like, hey, are you coming tonight? But then listen, Josh and I had a long day and we're lit. So we're like, all right, we're going to bounce. So we didn't hang around. And Josh is we'll talk about it on the podcast tomorrow, on the YouTube tomorrow. But he was very much like happy that we didn't see Sandoval. I was like, I love mess. I want to see Sandy balls. I want to see the Sandy ball. I want to, get into the mess. Anyway, let's get into the podcast. He had on the drummer. He had on Kyle Chan. And he basically opens up by taking accountability for being selfish with Sandoval, right? He says, it sucks, and I'm sorry for all the people I hurt in the process. I've definitely learned a lot as I continue to learn and reflect on these situations. All I can do is try to be better. # make Sandoval great again. He didn't say that. I added that. But he then talks about going sober because he said that his drinking had gotten really out of hand. He said that when he would perform at his most extra shows that he would slam 3 shots and chug 3 beers, and he would have to do that in order to go on stage. They talk about how hard it was for him and how he was contemplating suicide after the whole Sandoval news broke and everybody hated him. He talks about Rachel, Rocky Rocky Bang Bang. He basically says that he felt like she strung him along, like she was stringing him along, and he makes it seem like she was the narcissist and she was the one that was playing with him, and she was putting her little Bambi tail up in the air, and he was like, "Ooh, I want the Bambi tail," and she's like, "Come and get the Bambi." She's like, "Come when you want it, come and get it. When you're ready, come and get it. Na 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 na," and you just see her little tail wagging in the meadows. So he kind of paints that picture that she strung him along, at least more recently, because he said that they used to talk all the time. And then that kind of shifted when she went to the mental facility, and which, like, no fucking shit. Like, she was going into the mental facility to heal, and you were part of the issue. Hi, Tom, I'm the problem. It's you. So, like, yeah, she shouldn't have been talking to him anyway. But he was like, she went from calling me like every day to then it would be like a few days apart and then a few weeks apart. And then I just stopped hearing from her together. It's like, because yeah, my love, she was supposed to go to the mental facility to go and heal, to cut out the cancer, as Teresa would say. And so unfortunately, she thinks Tom is the cancer, and she blocked him on Instagram. And he's like, that's thirsty. So then he seems hurt that Rachel went on the #1 podcast in the whole galaxy, which is Just Be by Bethany Frankel, and made herself look like a victim. And she said that she didn't believe that they were ever truly in love. And he seems like really hurt by that, because I think maybe in his mind, he believed that they were truly in love. I do think he was in love with her, or I do think he loved her. It was definitely, the excitement and the infatuation at the beginning and the excitement of like sneaking around. But I think eventually, once the reunion happened and when they had to film Scandal and go through all that, I think they did become close. And I think they did build a bond, because maybe it was a trauma bond because they were going through this, traumatic experience together with the whole world hating them and hating on them. So I get that. But I do think he fell in love with her, or was falling in love with her. But like, listen, it was a toxic situation. She went into therapy and removed herself from the situation. And now, she's off in the secret garden, from one secret garden to the next. But he talks about Winter House and talks about how producers wanted him to film with Rachel, which he says that they both felt really weird and gross about. And then they made him film scenes with Lisa Vanderpump and with Sheena Shea for the Scandal finale. And they told him that if he filmed these scenes, then he could still secure his spot on Winter House, because originally it was supposed to be him and Tom Schwartz that went to Winter House together. But then in the end, even after he filmed all his scenes and did everything he was supposed to do, apparently the producers were like, nah, we changed our mind. Thank you, next. They ended up swiping left on him because he just didn't seem like a fit at this point, or it seemed pointless to bring him in. And so he was upset about that. which I think it was probably more in relation to the tantrum that he threw about the FaceTime video and talk of the FaceTime video getting edited out. Remember when he was like, I'm not going to film the show if you don't edit that out, or if we don't get to refilm this scene? Because apparently him and Rachel talked about the naughty FaceTime video that Ariana found on Tom's phone. And so, and from what Rachel said on the #1 podcast in the whole galaxy, she said that he told her he recorded that so that she could watch it back and see how beautiful she looked, which gross. Like, no, nobody wants to watch themselves back masturbating. It's gross. But also, she didn't seem to have an issue with that because there was no revenge porn lawsuit against Tom Sandoval that she filed. Like, she really just kind of let him skirt through that. But I do, like I said, I do think he was in love with her. He seems very salty about not being able to do Winter House because obviously he wanted to do it, and I'm sure he wanted the paycheck. But like, come on, do you really think that that was the best decision? Was for you to go on Winter House amid all of the scandal when everybody hates you, and then what we would have to watch this all play out now that Winter House is airing or going to be airing soon? No, nobody wants that. Sorry, Tom. Oy, oy, oy. But yeah, he definitely seems to be salty with it. Then he talks about making progress with Ariana. So they're still living together. He said, but recently she was in the kitchen and he was in the kitchen and they were in the kitchen together and she wasn't avoiding him. And they stayed in the kitchen for about 10 to 15 whole minutes. There was no eye contact, but there was progress because they stayed in the kitchen for 10 whole minutes. And furthermore, Billy Lee was over. And Ariana said, "What's up?" to Billy Lee. So at this point, I feel like, I don't know, they might even get back together. That's sarcasm for the people at home, for the peanut gallery in the back. But yeah, that's where we're at. That's where it stands. It's progress. I don't know. Do we consider that progress? Let's see what the live chat is saying. I do love, though, I have to flex on this just a little bit because I saw this. I found this out yesterday that Tom Sandoval's podcast, Everybody Loves Tom, has, so underneath when you're on Apple Podcasts at the bottom, it has recommended shows. And so if you look at the shows you might like also when listening to Everybody Loves Tom, it's Give Them Lala, Shenanigans with Sheena Shea, Straight Up with Stassi, and No Filter with Zack Peter. So this is a text that producer Scott sent me that I just thought was hilarious because he sent me the screenshot of the recommended shows. Bethany's podcast is also in there, but I just thought that that was funny that like that came up in the recommendations that I'm in his top 4 recommended podcasts that you might like if you listen to Tom Sandoval's. It's cute. Look at that, living life. Oh, Jacqueline Koch says, Zach, do you take a breath between your sentences? No, I don't take a breath between my sentences because I think that I'm on Gilmore Girls and I don't like to take breaths between my sentences because I don't like to breathe because I'm hoping that if I talk super fast, maybe I'll stop. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke. I don't have thoughts of suicide. Never. Do you think Tom has the gall to try to be in the audience of Dance with the Stars? No, I don't think so. I think, I don't think he cares. Listen, he's salty about that too. But, he's on Special Forces now. He's got a new podcast. Leslie says, I still have no sympathy for Rocky Bang Bang. Endeb thinks he 100% wanted the spotlight. Are you guys listening to his podcast? Does anybody care to listen to his podcast? Kaja said, I could not physically cope to be with an ex in the same place. Yes, but I also feel like it's more of like a legal thing. Like they have to legally stay in the house. They're both technically owners. So until there is a proper division of the assets, and Ariana talked about it too. She's like, I can't leave, we're on appeal for legal reasons. And Deb said, I really hope they don't get back together. It's like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. They're not going to get back together. Tom and Ariana will never get back together. Never, ever, ever. We are never, ever, ever getting back together. You don't talk to your friends, talk to my friends, talk to me. Like, we are never, ever, ever getting back together. But yeah, Cleo says she could care less about his podcast. It's actually couldn't care less. I couldn't care less about his podcast, meaning I don't care and I couldn't care less. But a lot of people seem to feel that. Like, listen, am I going to listen to it? Am I going to be like, ooh, let me tune into a new episode of Everybody Loves Tom? No, I'm not going to I'm not going to tune in actively. But like, if there's an interesting guest or something, you know, maybe I'll catch a recap. Memir says, well, pleasantries could be considered progress or just plain nice to avoid contention. I think they're just plain, well, my impression is they didn't speak while they were in the kitchen for 10 minutes. They just happened to be in the same kitchen for 10. They were in the same space physically because normally they avoid each other. So, but he considers that progress and good for him. I think maybe it's none of our business. Well, Mary, then why are you here? Everything's our business. It's none of our business. Then why did you tune into this video if it's none of your business, Mary? Tell me that. Okay. Queen of the Con said karaoke Fridays. Hey. BTF Phoenix says, in regards to Rachel, do you think Tom is just stupid? Or do you think she's in love? Do you think she's in love with him? Or do you think he has sex tapes of them together and she's participating and consenting? What? That took a plot twist. I don't think he has sex tapes of them together. I think that would be, well, maybe I have sex tapes. Do you think Tom is just stupid? I don't think Tom is stupid. Well, I think they've made some stupid choices. Do you think she's in love with him? I think that they believed that they were in love, but like I said, I think it was possibly trauma bonding because they were both going. But sometimes trauma bonding can make people closer. That's a possibility as well because you're getting to know each other, you're getting more intimate with each other. I don't know. I don't understand how any of them have reconciled with him, but then again, I'm a grudge holding bitch. Well, listen, they kind of have to, right? They have to engage with each other. It's their job. It's like if you get into a dispute with the coworker, you still have to go to work to make a living, to earn your paycheck. And listen, there are going to be staff meetings, all staff meetings. And when you're in the staff meeting and they're in the staff meeting, it is what it is. And sometimes you're both in the coffee room and you're both getting coffee. And there's a pleasantry exchanged, or they hand you a sugar and you're just like, thank you, and it just slowly builds from there. I don't know. I wonder how many square feet that house is. I think we can Google that, can't we? Yes, we are live streaming on YouTube right now. Definitely hit the like button, guys, if you're enjoying this. Thank you, Aaron D, for the reminder. It all played out on national television. It is our damn business. I know. It's my goddamn business. He deletes his sex tapes, I thought, unless he's too busy. He was too busy that day. He deletes his. How do we know that? I'll engage with whoever you want me to if you're paying me. Exactly. I agree with that. At least he quit the ciggies and the sauce. One positive. Yeah, he's sober now. He doesn't rip a cig anymore. So live life, right? We just have to live to coexist. And yes, he did a terrible thing, but it's time to move on. We're literally beating a dead horse. Yeah, I agree, Jessica. We're literally beating a dead horse at this point that I don't care to keep going. Like, listen, if they do and say something stupid, then yeah, we're going to do and say, it was stupid. But like, aside from that, he said it. He usually deletes them. Oh, his sex. Then what's the point of even recording them? Like, why tape them if you usually delete them? I mean, I usually delete mine. 10 minutes being in the same room without death threats is progress. I mean, sure. I don't want to move on though. I mean, move on from. I mean, we're gonna have to watch we're gonna have to watch it continue to play out on next season of Vanderpump Rules, but I'm tired of like let's go back and continue to beat up on Tom and Rachel because of what they did. We can beat them up for new things that they do, but I'm tired of, us staying stuck in that place. Rachel has 1 year to file in terms of the tape. Tom went and picked at her, calling her thirsty and immature. Why risk charges being filed? I mean, possibly. Any update on Sheena and Tom's friendship? I heard that they were at a music festival together. I don't know if they went together or just both happened to have gone and they were in the same section and maybe they talked. I'm not entirely sure, but I never liked Tom, so I'm not happy to listen to his podcast, but I love Zach covering it so we can ditch on it all. Yes. Is Schwartz okay with Sandoval? I don't know. I'm assuming so. Claudia, Zach, thoughts on Southern Charm being Sandoval 2.0? I don't know if I would say it's 2.0. It's like a diluted lower. I will say this. Okay, let's talk about Southern Charm. Okay. Again, I recap it for the Ringer reality TV podcast, The Morally Corrupt show on Fridays. We do recap there. But here's the thing. When it comes to Southern Charm and the Austin thing, Austin can never do wrong in my eyes, but I know when he's wrong. But like, my God, baby daddy, I love him. Oh, his Muppet mouth. Oh, there's nothing I love more than a basic doughy white boy, with that Muppet mouth. Kiss me with those no lips. So if you're basic and you're a doughy white boy, I'm in love, in love in the club. That said, Austin and Taylor are wrong for what they're doing. They're in this friendship. They're playing with fire. They know what they're doing. I think that when feelings come up, I think it's really hard to get rid of those feelings down the line. It's, you know, the fact that the last 5 minutes of Southern Charm, if you watched it, sorry, you're about to get a spoiler, but if you watched Southern Charm, the last 5 minutes show Taylor sitting down with Olivia. Okay. Olivia is Austin's ex, and Taylor is Shep's ex. Austin and Shep are good friends. Okay. But now Austin is becoming friends with Taylor, who is Shep's ex. Taylor is his friend's ex, right? We find out that Taylor has spent the night. We also now find out, now that Olivia has approached Taylor about saying, hey, I heard that you spent the night at Austin's. I didn't realize that was a thing. Like, is this a thing? Apparently it's a thing. Well, not a thing. They claim that it's not a thing, but I think it's a thing based off of what she revealed. She literally said that right after the breakup, because I feel like Olivia was really trying to give her, an opportunity to clarify this. She's like, come on, this is silly, right? This is silly. You and Austin are not a thing. And then Taylor just throws a little plot twist. And she's just like, well, actually, shortly after the breakup, we did kind of consider this and we did kind of talk about this. And we thought like maybe we would be interested in dating. Like maybe we did have feelings. And then we realized that we didn't, but we talked about possibly getting together. And Olivia was like, what the fuck? You never told me, you as my friend never told me that you were interested in my ex-boyfriend right after we just broke up? You didn't tell me that? And she's like, well, you guys had just broken up. They're like, why would I say anything to you if it wasn't serious? And now we find out that they're still friends and that she spent the night at his house. And I'm just like, come on. You're gonna tell me, like, when you have that conversation, when you think you have feelings for somebody, it's usually because there's a buildup around it, you know? It is what it is. How was your dinner with Joshua? He has 36 subscribers and we have nothing to watch from him. Wow. That was spicy. Let me text him that. He has 36 subscribers. Actually, I'll just take a picture and I'm gonna text it to him. That's funny. You guys, because he's always like saying that the Zack Pack is so intense sometimes. But we are, and that's what we love about it. Dinner was fine. Yeah, dinner was great. We ordered Mexican and then 36. Yeah, well, we're gonna build. He's gonna start doing Southern Charm recaps on his YouTube channel. So you'll be able to get some content from him soon. The people want the content. He's at 36 subscribers. That's not bad. BTF Phoenix said, I thought I was sub to the wrong Josh because there's no content. Thank you for clarifying. Yeah, guys, it's a new YouTube channel. He's coming over tomorrow. We're going to get it all set up. Stay tuned. I thought Sandoval's podcast was great. Well, see, Mary, I thought you didn't care. I thought it was none of our business. Mary. What's Josh's channel? Josh from Louisiana. I hope I spelled that right. That was wild. If nothing happened, how did they get to a place to talk to to their families? Exactly. That's my point. How did you get to a place where you're talking to your sister and you're talking to your sister about possibly having feelings for each other and possibly wanting to move forward? How are we in that place? That's what's so crazy to me. Is it's like clearly there was something there. Clearly we were having a conversation because there was something, and then to not tell Olivia at all and to let Olivia think that you just have this innocuous friendship, which also weird, right? A little weird. Don't hide behind your fake religious morals and tears now, Taylor. I cannot with her showing up, yelling at everyone on her high horse. Yeah. I'm tired. Ever since 2018, 2020, the dynamics are more hostile. I want more ebbs and flows of relationships, family, and what they do, not just arguing, aggressively fighting, done with all of that. That's a valid point. You know, I think that that's a fairly valid point. Mary, quite contrary. I agree. Mary's like, it's none of our business. And then Mary's like, I liked his podcast. I was like, Mary, girl, pick a lane. Pick a lane. Do you want to sleep with Sandoval too? Sleeping with the Scandival? The Scandival of it all. Josh said he's gonna do some content. So you'll have content. Maybe we'll do the hot wing challenge on his. Well, I don't know. No, I want to do it on mine. Josh now has 37 subscribers. Okay, great. Southern Charm is great. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Didn't know Southern Charm was so good till I saw it yesterday. I thought it was great. Rachel was telling me that she's like, I don't know, this episode didn't really give me anything. It didn't really deliver. And I'm like, what are you talking about? This episode delivered. This episode was so good. I'm like obsessed. It was so good. Let's do a Southern Charm watch and recap. Yeah. You'll get content tomorrow, people. You will get content. Are you doing the live hot wings thing tomorrow? Yes. Yes. We will do it tomorrow. Let's say like 2 p.m. Pacific will be the goal. 2 p.m. Pacific. We'll have it all set up. We'll do it. So I'm thinking we do like housewives hot takes and burning questions. So you can ask burning questions. We'll have a hot take and we'll respond to that hot take. And then you can ask us questions while we're eating the hot wings and we'll answer as honestly as we can with our mouths on fire. When they were on fire. But yeah, we'll say 2 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. I'll make sure it's up there so that way you can set a reminder. Taylor actually values her friendship with Olivia. There still would have been a conversation regardless of if anything came out of her and Austin being together. You don't do that to your girlfriend. Exactly. The fact that Taylor was even considering dating Austin when that's her girl's ex, like the girl code, bro code, literally. I don't know. What's your tummy prep for mouth on fire? I don't know. Do I need tummy prep? Like what Pepto-Bismol, Tums? That's what NSYNC was taking. They were doing Tums and Pepto-Bismol. Oof, it's gonna be real rough tomorrow, isn't it? Oof. We should probably get milkshakes. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, "It's better than yours." Damn right, it's better than yours. I could teach you, but I have to judge. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. All the boys to the yard. All the boys to the yard. Boys to the yard. That's my remix version. All right. Thank you guys for listening to No Filter with Zack. Peter, that's me. You can follow me at Just Plain Zack all over the interwebs. And you can also follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack. So there you go. Go give it a follow on the Instagram. Stay tuned. New episodes come every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on all the podcast platforms. Our burning questions about pop culture or personal, both. Whatever you want to ask, you know I'm an open book. Oh God, that's worrisome. But yeah, we'll go live tomorrow. Saturday. We'll go live on Saturday on YouTube, youtube.com/justplainzack. You can subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you liked today's video and you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button. If you liked it on Spotify, you can leave a comment below. If you liked it on Apple Podcasts, then you can leave an Apple Podcast review. I love those reviews. Help make me the #1 podcast in the galaxy. Okay. All right, guys. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful weekend. Content will come. All the fun. All the good stuff. All right, guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. Ciao for now.